Welcome to iHeartGeek.
And welcome to another episode of iHeartGeek. This is going to be a fun episode. Today's an all opinion episode. So, there is nobody that's going to be wrong on this except Kevin, because Kevin always has to be wrong on the show.
Already started.
Just always starting that way.
Well, it's you were born that way. I'm sorry. It's just one of those fun things. Today we are not talking about the most influential video games of all time. That's a later show, and I want to be very specific on that because it's a very different show. Today we're actually just our personal top 5 favorite video games of all time and why you suck for liking that game, Kevin.
Yeah. Wow.
It was my birthday yesterday, so I'm just like still pumped up. It's great. Yeah, the Alka-Seltzer's kicked in. I am ready to go today. I am Dub, and today on the panel we have Kevin. I did that right. We have Pixie, and we have Tyler. And I pointed correctly on all that. How is everybody doing? This group has not been on in a very long time.
Been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute or 10. So how's everything going real quick? Let's get that out of the way real quick. How is everybody doing? Kevin, you've been on the show recently. Tyler and Pixie, we haven't heard from you in a while. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. Can't complain. Just it's summertime, man. Got the summertime blues. Kids are out of school trying to find stuff for them to do. It's hot. It's so hot and humid.
so
So
I'm looking at your walls. You have toys everywhere. I don't know what I can have my kids do.
there's plenty of inside stuff that they can do, but it's trying to get them outside. But it's just so hot.
Yeah, but those toys are
Nobody
in
wants
boxes.
to be outside.
You don't open those toys. They're in boxes.
A lot of them back
Leave
here,
them. Yep.
they don't touch.
That's
Don't
half
touch
the fun. You know what? Okay, we're gonna do a show about this someday, and let me get off topic just for a second. Yes, you can see behind me. I have a bunch of stuff that's in the package, but is that really any fun? There's something so fun about ripping open that package. Who cares what it's worth? I'm never gonna sell these toys. I should open them, but I like the packaging because it's all the Blackest Night stuff. But with that being said, God,
Yeah, that's why you buy two.
Are you
You
ever
buy
gonna sell
two.
your stuff? Are you
So
ever
you
gonna
can
sell it?
open
two.
one and you
You're
can
not gonna
keep
sell
one.
it. You're not gonna sell it ever.
Yeah.
Not unless I have to.
So
I was gonna say this right here is actually a gift to my friend that I kind of stole from him. It's a whole bunch of Star Wars collector cards that were printed but never cut out. The
Oh, wow.
original Star Wars collector cards, and
Right
it
on.
was a birthday gift to him. And I'm like, I'm putting this in my room.
So if you
'Cause
want to
there's
give out
nowhere
the
else.
address on there, I'm sure someone would love to take that off the wall and take it home.
No,
No one knows what town you're in right now, so we'll
No.
leave it at that. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, walking away. Okay, so we're gonna go right into this today, and I want to hear you. I have decided, because I'm the host of the show, so I have decided we're not putting these in a particular order. This is just your top 5, because some of these it's
Right on.
painful for me to do some of this stuff to rank it. Um,
Yeah.
and honestly, if you asked us the same question in 2 months, the answers would change.
Okay.
That's the way video games work, right? But okay, so we're going to talk about our top 5 video games, and we're going to say why we like it. You're going to sell us on why you like this video game and why it's a good game. Let's start with Kevin. What is your number 5, sir?
So yeah, I
Or
was gonna say,
5,
I'm glad
yeah.
we're starting. No, I'm glad we're starting with. So my 1 and 2 are gonna stay. Those are, but
Well, because it's terrible. They're terrible. They're just terrible.
This guy, he knows what they are. But,
Starting off
I
strong.
think, well, a game that just means the world to me. My 3, 4, and 5 games, they just mean the world to me because they were my childhood. One of them being Skies of Arcadia on Dreamcast. I was one of the few that had Dreamcast, and over the years they've made all kinds of remakes. They've made remakes of Crazy Taxi. They remakes of Phantasy Star Online. They have never made a good remake of Skies of Arcadia. I know there was one on GameCube, but I want one now. And I've been every couple of years I'll look and see if they're always talking about it. But Skies of Arcadia was the first RPG I ever beat.
What kind of game is it? What are you? I mean, I
So-
don't know this game.
Okay, so Skies of Arcadia, it's a game where you're a sky pirate, and it was really dynamic at the time because you had the open worlds, and you had the main open world where you had a boat and you would float around, and then
Mhm.
you had the upper ones where you could find stuff, lower ones, but then it was a JRPG, so you would land on the islands, you get out, and then you'd fight the monsters.
So it's
Um,
Overwatch.
it's more like fantasy. It's almost like Final Fantasy, but
Okay.
with Sky Pirates.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow.
And it just had the perfect amount of humor. I played it when I was, I think, 11 or 12 years old. It was the first time that I ever understood, because I used to try to play Final Fantasy games,
Mhm.
and then there was always a level cap. If you're not playing a JRPG right, you're going to hit a wall where all of a sudden you just can't move anymore. And it was the first game that I actually figured out level grinding. First game I figured out crafting. First
So
game
it
I
was
ever
your Warcraft.
it was the game that changed my gaming, how I do things.
Very
Skies of
good.
Arcadia. Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, what is your number 5 or 5 whatever?
It's the one that's lower on the list for sure, but it's got to be Sonic the Hedgehog, just for purely nostalgic
Sega! Oh.
reasons. And I know
Yes.
our buddy Blizzard Flies loves nostalgia. And
He doesn't know anything.
that's
There's a reason he's
that's
not on this episode.
one of the
anyway, yeah.
reasons. I hold that one in a special place. Just
It's just
it's
number one,
being
though,
up
right?
until midnight without your parents knowing, just ripping those buttons across that Sega
Domino's
controller,
Pizza,
getting them to
Jolt Cola.
spin.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start with level
all the
select.
things. Oh yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Okay, you just blew my mind. I know that's a Contra thing. Is that on?
It's on. It's the level select.
Shut
Up,
up.
down, left, right, A, B, start was the level select, so you could go all the way down, and then you could
You could go into the settings also where the
Oh my
sound
gosh! You
effects
just killed
are.
me.
If you go into sound effects,
Yeah.
19, 65, 9, 17, and that unlocks all the levels also. You can go ahead and go to any level you want.
I
Oh,
forgot
that
yeah.
just
numbers.
killed me.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This
So
actually just made my day. And if you can put that in the comment section, I would really appreciate it, Tyler.
Oh,
Put it in the
absolutely, but-
YouTube and in the Facebook. P.S.
Well,
Huh.
it's like at that time. See, games are different now than they were back then. You had game guides you were sharing with your friends. Pixie, you had mentioned, oh, well, you still remember it. It's like because it was ingrained in us as
had
kids.
to.
All
We
those
couldn't just
codes.
pick up our phone and look it up
Justin
again.
Bailey on Metroid.
You had to like talk to your friends and figure it out, or
Yeah, I had to write
Sure.
it down and keep it in my room somewhere my mom wouldn't throw it away when she was cleaning up.
I have a
That was how we
notebook.
operated back in the day.
Yep.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a notebook. I have a little notepad where I had all of my little notes for
Certainly.
each game on there. And I had all those up, down, left, right, 8 star. I had all that in my little notebook. And my mom's like, what is this? Is this code? Should I be worried about you? And I was like, no.
Yes,
It's just gamer
absolutely.
code.
There's way worse things you could get into. Oh my God.
Right.
Well, I mean, they had those. I remember they used to have those books you could buy on any of the Nintendo games, and it
If
would
your
tell
mom
you,
would buy it for you.
oh, they were like
Yeah.
$20, which with
Right.
inflation, that's like $60 now for a stupid book for your $60 video game. So
I got the Mortal Kombat one for Christmas. It was like this thick. It had all the stuff for Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I want to
But that
put
was
that
the
on my
thing.
list so bad, but we'll get back.
Sonic was the game I got enthralled with because one, the whole kids can't focus on anything, and you could zoom that thing across the screen and everything. It got intense, And then I couldn't get Mortal Kombat. All my friends had it, so my mom didn't want to buy it. Violence was a bad thing, the video games were ruining the kids and all
blood,
that.
yeah.
So, that I had Sonic, so that's what I spent all my time on. It was great.
Before I get to Pixie, I actually do have a question. You guys had the Sega, apparently. Was there a Game Genie for the Sega?
Yes.
Or was that
Yeah.
only Nintendo? Because that was a world changer for me, by the way.
Yeah, there's Game Genie.
Really? Oh, this just changed my world. Okay, Pixie, what is your number 5?
My number 5, ironically enough, is going to be torn between two of them. I'm going to list them both, but I'm going to tell you the one that I'm leaning a little bit more towards. So it'd be
Okay.
actually somewhere between me putting enough hours in Baldur's Gate and Cyberpunk 2077.
Which Baldur's Gate?
The third one right now. I
Yeah.
have played all of them, but I'm kind of obsessed with this one. I have started so many characters, gotten through literally the first chapter of the story and gone, I want to do a different route. And it's not for lack of trying, but I have actually yet to finish that game, but with the amount of hours that I have put into that game. Same with Cyberpunk. I have gone through, I have made a whole bunch of different types of characters. I have leveled them up to an extreme amount, bought houses, had fun, just gone in there and killed so many hours and just so much fun in the game, gotten so many modifications with the guns
Mhm.
and this and that and my outfits and just spent hours in the game. And that is the point to me of some video games is you want to get lost in it because
Mhm.
it's a nice escape for a little bit. It's
Which I
great to
will be
just
hitting on that too. Now, the Baldur's Gate. Now, why do I want to spend my $60 on it? Because it's still $60.
Real quick, I say something about Baldur's Gate before you. I am so excited it's on Xbox now. Me and my
Yay.
buddy are going to be playing it July 1st. We have a date to start playing it together.
You are
Love
such
it.
a
They
nerd.
do.
I'm so
Oh my
excited. I'm so
gosh.
glad it's one of
Love
your
it.
games. That was all. All right, go ahead and answer the question.
Love it.
So why do I want to spend my $60 on this game?
So for me, Baldur's Gate was absolutely incredible because you get to create a character and, again, any race, they give you all these options. You really can customize the character. You go in and you start off with this very kind of weird storyline where you're going, what is happening? What is going on? You're slowly learning what's happening to you and your character. You meet these interesting characters along the way if you discover them in your path. If you have to find some of these characters too. Like, I mean that, like, it took me a minute to find, Gale. Oh, that took me a solid minute. I was like, "What is this? What?" I've smacked his hand more times than I have pulled him out of the thing. I'm not gonna get into that anyway. Some of these characters, they have such a beautiful storyline to them, and again,
Mhm.
I have admitted that I usually don't get past chapter 1, but I have actually played pretty far, just never finished the game. I have played very far. I've gotten along with a lot of these characters, but my I keep ending up wanting to see what the characters react to when you do certain things, and it's almost more entertaining for me to play with the NPCs than it is to play my story out.
That's
And
fair. Yeah.
That's
it's
such a
just
good.
it,
That's
it
such a beautiful when you say about you wanting to spend time in a game and like learn all like I love that like that's I'm so excited.
Mhm.
it's such a great story and game, and there's so many fun aspects to it, and like I've even seen things on TikTok that I'm now trying to recreate because I'm like, well, I want that to happen. Hold on, how did you get that? So yeah,
Nice.
I personally could spend hours getting lost in that game. It is absolutely was worth the money for me. And I bought it on two platforms. I bought it on the PlayStation and I bought it on my PC. So that's how
Wow.
worth it was to me.
Wow. Yeah, I don't
Let
like
me,
any game that much. I'm lying,
so
but yeah.
you mentioned Cyberpunk. When did you play Cyberpunk? Before or after all the updates?
Actually, I played it before. I actually, ironically enough, played it before, got to a really great point in the game, and then my save got corrupted, and I got
Hmm.
really irked because it's
Oh,
like you play this game for so long, and then you can't play that character anymore all of a sudden. You're like, I don't want to start over. But then all the updates came out, and it realived my connection to the game. And I have now spent way more time in that game than I should have. And my current boyfriend is trying to get me into what is it? The one he calls it Fallout in Space. It's the new
Oh,
one. It's
Space.
Starfield.
Sorry. Oh,
Starfield.
I
Starfield.
thought
Great
that
game.
was this
Starfield's a good
Divers.
game. I've beaten it's a good game.
It's a great game. It's a beautiful start to the game, and he's like, "It's Fallout, but in space." I'm like, "Well, thanks for that description." I'm like, "I'm gonna get stuck on that one soon, just like I have with Cyberpunk, just like I have with Baldur's
You
Gate.
will.
That's gonna be my
You will.
next one."
Outstanding.
So with Cyberpunk, it was the weirdest thing. So I was playing it day one. I was so excited it was coming out. I started playing it day one, and it was during that whole time when everybody was crapping
Which
on
is
it.
why I never played it.
Exactly, and you know what? That's a disservice. The advertisers and the trolls and everything else or whatever did you a disservice because yes, there were glitches, but there's a glitches in a lot of new games, and it wasn't
Stop putting
bad.
out games that aren't ready. First off,
Oh, I
guys.
understand, but it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be.
Yeah,
And it was so funny then after all the
updates and
the
everything.
DLCs and all the different things they were changing. I had two of my friends that started playing it, and they're like, "Oh my god, they fixed everything!" I said, "Do you guys ever actually play it?" Like, no. I said, "Well, man, let me see what it's like." So I actually started playing it again. I beat it again with all the DLCs. I was like, "Guys, it's not changed as much as you might think. Like, it's not, but
Everything's
it's
the
such an
same.
amazing game.
Yeah, it is.
Fair
Great
enough.
DLC too. Phantom Liberty is chef's
Oh,
kiss."
so good.
Okay. My first one I'm gonna hit is probably my favorite series of all time, period, bar none. Controversial pick because some people think it's one of the worst games ever made, but Fable 1, 2, and 3. And I'm not going to say 4 because I'm not happy with what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. I'm saving my outrage until it comes out because Fable is, to me, one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. It's was the first to use a morality. I don't know what they call it. It's something about morality system, I guess. And
Mhm.
the more good you did, the more you looked lighter, and people liked you and wanted to trade with you and be your friend. And then you do evil things, which you'd have to do some evil things in the game, whether you wanted to or not. And you turn dark. You start wearing the black mascara. People be afraid, of you,
Really?
running from you,
Oh yeah, it's a cool dynamic.
Yes.
They,
and
yeah,
frightened
it's
of you. And
it,
everything was choosable, and you always with all three of these games, you start as a child, work your way in, because and
Mhm.
that's how you train. So it's not like dropping you in. Well, you're in a world, go do stuff.
That's a long game.
It is, but
well,
if
they
you
split. Yeah, it's a long
you
game, but
skip,
you have splits.
you
Well,
skip.
yeah, the
Yeah.
training stuff lasts about 20 minutes when you're a kid, but
Uh,
I mean, everything you learn different skills so that you can make more money, and you don't have to learn those skills. You don't have to do anything in the game to get through it. But
Yeah.
the more stuff you learn, the more it's like opened up, and it's just such a beautiful concept to me. Talk about being able to get lost in a world forever.
It's a very pretty world too. It's like a
Oh, it's
fairy tale.
beautiful.
It's a fairy tale. It's what you would think when you think of fairy tales. It's a
Yeah.
very
Right.
it's a very pretty world.
I have a question.
Fire away.
Did you ever play a character that was all good and then immediately go, I need to play a character that's all bad
Yes,
just to counter that?
absolutely. I have actually on
I-
my 3. The third one is my favorite one. Just it's overpowered, but
Dang.
I have a ultra evil guy, an ultra evil girl, an ultra good guy, and an ultra good girl, and they're just completely different. I played different adventures with them, and you can go to any of them at any point.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad playing as the evil
The
people?
first time, yes,
What?
but
Did
I
you
feel
though?
guilty.
no, seriously, because I mean, you can okay. Well, an example is you can rent out a house to a family, pull the family out, kill the family, and then rent the house to somebody else. That's evil points, but you're making more money. Everything in it is a choice, and I love there is nothing in there that does not affect you one way or the other, and that's. I'm not going to talk about the new one because everything is rumor at this point, but it's just amazing. I love that you can create the character to be whoever you want it to be. It's just it's beautiful. It's just such a.
Sounds like you can kind of get to know part of yourself too.
You know what? I
Mhm.
think I think that if a psychologist looked at that game, they could tell you things about yourself.
I will say, fun story for 5 seconds was when I played Fable 3
4,
one time.
3,
We were on my
2.
Xbox's X, like on his actual game board, and I was playing one night, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm not really feeling good." And I thought I'd logged off, but I apparently just turned off the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work, and then I came back, and he had gone to work, and he goes into work later than I did. So I come home, and I'm going, "Did you leave the Xbox on?" And he's like, "No, why?" I was like, "'Cause the game's been on all night, and we had just started, like, we had bought one rental property, and I had
You
lowered
got
the
money.
rent even, and I came back, and it was like $8 billion, and I was like, I am just gonna buy all the housing now,
Mhm.
and okay,
Wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I had not realized I had done it, but it was Fable 3, I remember that
Yeah.
specifically, and I was cracking up because I was like, all I did was buy, like, one of the cheap houses too, like, I didn't even spend that much on it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, you know what?
Nice.
Buy them all."
Yeah, and even the more or less that you charge people rent
Yep.
is part of your good and evil meter.
It's true.
It's just amazing how deep this game went, and I to me that is why to me it's the perfect game. But yeah, I know some people. It's not that good of a game. That's fine. It's a little dated at this
Well,
point.
it's your game though, so and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the thing is that like if
Mhm.
everybody has their own likes and dislikes,
Mhm.
especially with video games. That's why there's so many different styles, genres, and everything else. Like it's completely subjective, and I can see I never really got into Fable the way people did, but it's definitely a magical game, and the way they made it, and the morality system and everything. It's a very cool concept.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay, Kevin, what's your next one, bud?
Well, I don't know if I should do both 3 and 4 together, but it was Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2 was my
And
first
I
survival
want to
horror
hear
game.
why 2, not the other ones.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've tried Resident Evil 1 first, and it was too hard for me.
Okay.
At that time, and, you're stuck in the house. It's a lot deeper puzzles and a lot more puzzles that don't really tell you.
Jump
Um,
scares.
as the game started going, now Resident Evil 2, and the reason why Resident Evil 2 though also over 1 was it was the first real survival horror game I got into. I remember going into my room on Christmas. My mom got it for Christmas, and I turned off all the lights.
Oh
And
no.
I did the curtains, and it's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Christmas, and I'm trying to scare myself on Resident Evil 2. It's such a cool. But then I played that game so much that me and my friends started doing speed runs, and I could beat that game start to finish in 2.5 hours. We would just run, and we were running past things and doing the puzzles. 2.5 hours we were able to get it. So we got the tofu guy with a knife, and I played that
What?
game. That was the first game that I put some time into, like
Yeah.
real time was that game.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Mostly how? How 2 hours? That just seems impossible. I've played that game
It's not
multiple times and gone,
possible.
I can't.
You just got to run, and you start knowing where everybody's at, and then like there's certain bosses where you can just run by, and then there
Oh.
So like
you have
speed
to have
runs in
the
Super
right
Mario.
weapons, like a rocket launcher or whatever. You just start knowing where everything's at, and we would time each other.
Wow. Wow.
Fair enough. Okay, Tyler, what's your next one, bud?
Since we're doing this in no particular order or anything, I'll go with Borderlands.
Oh, good.
I
Just
hear so much. I've never played it. I've
the
heard.
entire franchise of Borderlands.
Oh, still
Great.
such a good franchise.
Mhm.
It's so wacky and so fun, and that's what got me into it and sucked me right in because Kevin knows me really well and the things I'm interested in, and he was playing it ahead of me, and he's like, "Dude, you got to play Borderlands." I'm like, "Really?" And he kept telling me about it. I'm like, "All right." Finally, I got around to getting it. I was, "What is this game?" It was just so weird, but I'm typically, just a first person shooter, competitive game kind of guy and stuff. And this is the first one I had to go out and really do a lot more than just that. And I had such a good time playing every single one of those. Every character you come across has got such a unique personality to them. And then every mission is just so off the wall. Things you got to do for these characters. It's a good time.
Borderlands, any of them, well, especially the first one, was the first game that I found myself actually laughing out loud at reading the subquest. As the different subquests, because you read them
names.
and it tells you what they are, and if you
Yep.
actually read it, they're hilarious.
Yeah, normally I'm like, why are all these words in my video game? But no, not with Borderlands. You read
Yeah.
it and it's a good time. I fell so much in love with it. I've cosplayed as psychos at Comic Cons. Kevin was there, he knows. I've gotten handmade psycho masks that were autographed by the different voice actors
nice.
for the game.
Cool.
It is definitely one of my all time favorites. There's something about it. There's a vibe to it that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
Did
that's one
you
that's always
do-
on my list.
It's a good
Give
one.
it a go.
Keep it.
It's
Did
good.
you do Tales of the Borderlands? The
I
Telltale
Telltale?
one?
I thought I was the
Some
only
of
person
it.
that did it.
Yep.
I
Okay.
love Tales of the Borderlands.
My
The first
absolute
one.
favorite scene in that is the finger cuts. It is so dumb and it's so amazing. And you're
Mhm.
having an entire fight. Pew, 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 pew. It is an entire fight
It's
scene.
ridiculous.
Tales of
And
the
only
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Only Borderlands can
That's
make
why
it
they
so
have
bad.
they have such a charm and they do it just right.
Yeah.
They
At-
did.
At the end of Tales of the Borderlands, they do like a Power Rangers things where you're all going to like a Megazord, and that's how your final fight is.
There you go.
So good.
Okay,
So
Pixie,
good.
you're up. What's your next one, hon?
My next one, I'm actually, since again, no particular order, I'm going to talk about Raft. A lot of people are
What
going
is
to put smack
Raft?
on this game. This game
What
is
is it?
absolutely stupid, incredible, amazing, great time killer. You start off on a little 4x,
I know it's
and
game.
you basically have to collect resources while you're stuck on a raft in the middle of the ocean. And as you continue on, you build out your raft and you can build different items. You find different islands. You can find chests on these islands. You can find fruits,
It's a time killer.
foods. It is a time killer, but there is a storyline to it. I played it before the storyline. And it was funny because I was just playing it and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. And I was kind of doing it every other day or something. Like I had my other games that I was playing and this was to kill time. And one day the storyline got introduced, and my buddy and I were like, "Oh, hey, there's a storyline." And he goes, "Oh, you play it too?" And so we found out it was multiplayer. We started playing it together. And so now anytime there was a new update to the storyline, we'd play it together and we'd complete that update and go, okay, we'll play it when the next one comes out. Like we'll
That's
finish it
cool.
again when the next one comes out. Then we'll finish it again the next part of this. Now we've got his wife and his son playing it with us. And so now we've gone back in and we've started this whole new raft and we have a whole new thing going. And even though the storyline is there, it's great playability
Hmm.
is how I'm gonna phrase that. 'Cause I
It
don't know
sounds
what
like
word to
something
use.
else that's going to be on your list later.
It's just so
And
much
yeah, you know what I'm
fun.
talking about. That
Yep,
sounds very.
Hmm.
And
it
I
is.
like that. I like community type.
Raft is like Minecraft on a boat. That's the
It
way I've
is.
always kind
It
of.
is
I've
Yeah.
watched
Minecraft on a boat.
videos of it. I've watched videos, and it seems like a cool game. It really
It
does.
is. And there's so many little fun aspects to it, and like Bruce is actually the guys call him Bruce when they reference the shark, the entire game that follows you around. They call him Bruce, and they said yes, that is an homage to Jaws. Yes, yes, we did call
Outstanding.
him Bruce for that reason. So
Nice.
anyway, it's
Interesting.
great.
Okay, so my next one up, I'm actually changing it last minute. I'm calling an audible. It was going to be the NHL EA series, but let's be honest, every single game is exactly like every other single game on those for the last 15 years. So I'm taking it off. But I've enjoyed those games because I like hockey. If I didn't like hockey, I wouldn't like the game. But I'm going to replace with the Telltale series, especially Fables, Wolf Among Us. That is, as a comic book person, the closest I've got to enjoying a comic in 5 years. It's choose your own adventure meets comic books, and there's just something
Right.
so right back to where being a kid again and enjoying just this adventure you're on. It's not hard. Press A, click, click, click. You're not going to be skilled out of the game. It's all the story, and it is so. There's something that they did that was just so cool about it. You know, and the artwork is all very comic book centric. It's a very enjoyable series, and everything Minecraft and Borderlands and Fables and Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. There's like 20 of them. So whatever you're into, you can jump into this series. And I'm not going to say one over the other, but I think that is definitely one that
Telltale
people should check out.
Telltale games are fantastic,
Yeah,
and
but
that you're
didn't I
you're
show you those in the first place?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you Wolf Among Us. We were
Wolf
talking about
Among
Wolf
Us, yeah.
Among Us, and that's whenever I learned that was actually part of a comic book world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching it's like being a part of a movie or a show, and they
Yep.
come in episodes. They're
You're the
all
director
pretty
of a
fantastic.
film.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're
That
just
was one of the
fantastic.
first kind of games my son started playing when he was little. He was too young to be able to have any skill at a real game and stuff, but he could do the Telltale Minecraft games, you know,
That's a
and
good idea.
It's
you know, and
simple
he would
but
he would.
fun.
And
Like
I like
I'd read
choices.
some of it for him so he knows what's going on and choose that one, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you can make good and bad choices.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you're always going to get to the same area, just like a choose your own adventure book. But the choices do make some difference, and there's something just really enjoyable about it. There's something very primal. It's just like, oh, I like this. Boom, this is what happens. Cool, and you don't have to be. You know, I don't play a lot of the newfangled games because BBAAFFFG whatever. You know, 7 million buttons in order to get anywhere. This is
L1,
you're
R2.
gonna press A. You know, and it's something really enjoyable about that.
I can't play those because I'm gonna absolutely every time they definitely don't want me to pick this one. So there you
That's
go.
the one you gotta
Yeah.
pick. Yeah. And there's nothing that's like the Fable thing. Wow, I realized that I have a type of game. Kevin, what's your next one, bud?
All right. This is the first Final Fantasy game I ever beat. Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy X. My next three.
That's the one with the big, huge sword?
No, it's Titus. It's
Okay. You know what I'm
Titus has
talking
a big
about.
sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of
Talking
Cloud.
about Cloud, yeah.
You're thinking of
Okay.
Cloud, Final Fantasy VII. Titus has a big sword, but it's not the big sword. You had Titus, Luna, you had anyway, so Kamamari. These next three that are my favorites can go down as some of the greatest soundtracks of all
Yes.
of all. Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X has one of the most amazing soundtracks, and I can
That
tell
was
that
when
you
it started hitting
you,
the 64-bit, right?
well, it was PlayStation 2. It was one of the
Yeah,
first
so it started hitting that
PlayStation 2 games.
64-bit sound, which changed everything.
Oh, and just that game, there was a scene in the game that I remember as a kid as my first time actually having emotion. during a game, other than like excitement. It
Mhm.
was the moment where Titus and Luna they're in a lake, and it's all glowing, and they go and they kiss for the first time, and it's just, and as like a 12-year-old kid, boy, have you, I'm feeling things right now. I'm like, oh my god, it's
Wa
like a love story.
was it Rogue? Sorry.
What's that?
Was it Rogue?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Was she based on Reba? Was that what that one was?
Yeah.
Inside baseball here, guys. Yeah. Tyler, what's your next one, bud?
My next one I think will be Super Mario World.
World? Which
Oh.
one? The 64 one or the
Super Nintendo.
Mario? Super Nintendo. Okay.
That's purely based on nostalgia. I can hear our buddy Bly's over there.
Oh, all the
He's
rest.
puking
I
in the
think
corner
almost
right now.
everything left is nostalgia for me. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, by
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, it's purely nostalgia based. It's fun. I love the game. It is great. It's a nice way to waste time, and it's a classic. But
Mhm.
it's also the game my wife absolutely loved when we first started dating. So
Nice.
we would just, hang out at her house and stuff and be playing Super Mario World
Oh,
all the
that's cool.
time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she showed me different little things that I didn't know about the game. Just the little secrets here and there, that Mario has. And yeah, it's just one of those things. There's a spot on the shelf for it just for that reason.
Nice. Actually, the Super Nintendo is actually when I got out of games a little bit because we added the extra buttons and it wasn't as fun for me anymore. The 64 made more sense, but the Super, it was like,
Too much.
But that game was, it was a hoot too.
Oh, it was a great game.
That's a fun time.
looking
You
back,
just
it's
got,
not
you
a
got
si- it's not
Yoshi. When we
complicated,
started
but
including
yeah.
Yoshi, and you had to chase his
The
butt
lore got
around
bigger.
everywhere because
The
you'd
lore
always
got
get knocked
huge.
off them. And oh
So
yeah,
I never had. I had a regular Nintendo. I never had a Super Nintendo. I had a Sega, and I remember going over to a friend's house who had that, and he had beaten it so much that he got the Halloween world where everything's like lanterns and stuff like that, and pumpkins and Super Mario World, because he had gotten all the stars, all the different things, all the hidden entrance, and I just always remember like that being so like, oh my god, there's so much to this game, but like I played it as an adult because I feel like it's one of those
Yeah.
games you have to beat as a gamer, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
True. Very
absolutely.
true.
Okay, Pixie, what's your next one?
My next one will be Animal Crossing. I don't care all the
And why do you
smack
have to
talk.
be a girl or a geek to love that game? That's the only
Listen,
options. Super
listen.
geek, girl.
Boy,
I played it a long time ago. It was one of those games that I got, and I was like, "Oh, this is such an interesting, cute, just simple little game." And it was a great time killer, great for fun, great for just kind of enjoying and relaxing. And then, of course, again, it came back out again right when COVID hit. Could
On
not
the
have been
Switch.
Everybody
There you
got
go.
any
obsessed.
better.
that's
Oh,
when
Switch.
I first heard
Everybody
about
was
it.
like, "Yeah." It's like all my friends and I were like, "Yeah, how do we do this? You got stuff, I got stuff. Let's trade." And like the amount of times it was like, "Hey, what's your turnip prices at?" Oh my god, I cannot. That game was so much fun. It was so great. I was told by somebody that you can time skip, and when I'm too scared, that'll corrupt my save. I've had too many problems with corrupted saves. I ain't doing it. So I'm still loyal to this day, going on same day travel, same day everything. I'm like, I can't do that. If I mess that up, it'll ruin everything for me. But all the new updates, all the beautiful classics, the villagers, and I have made an Alice in Wonderland themed world, and that was my third world I've made. I have restarted 3 times and just gone over everything again. So
Nice.
I definitely enjoy it. It's definitely a great game, and as dumb as you might think it is, it's still worth playing. I mean, I think one of the games, I think it's Super Smash Brothers. Isabelle is one of the like weirdest, most badass characters for no reason at all. So
Nice.
I don't know. I love that game personally. I think it's a great game. If you're ever just wanting to relax, it is a perfect calming game. And I'm not even trying to pick calming games.
That's kind of where we're sitting, I've noticed with you.
I
Yeah, you're a lot of building games, a lot of building the world yourself
building.
games.
I love those.
Well, it's
Those ones are
making
calming for me.
there's something that's great about making your own rules in your own world.
Don't ask me
You know?
about my next ones. The next
No,
ones on the
oh,
list get better
I
and
know where we're
better.
going, and I didn't put it on my list because I knew you were going to put it on. But my next one is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, this is the newest game that you'll hear from me. There is something that is so fun about this game. I don't like all the DLC pay stuff. That irritates me. But with that being said, it is such a fun game. Now, it's taken me I've been in it for more than 100 hours. For somebody like me, that's a commitment, but it's just so enjoyable. And because you don't feel bored, you're not like, okay, well, today I'm going to go discover all the high places. So you go from, go find all the eagles, whatever that means. If you guys play the game, you know what I'm talking about. And it's not stressful. It's just fun. Now, I wish they had a morality thing like they do on Fable, but it's a fun game, and it's action packed. I like just going hack and slash people. It's not skill based. It's not hard, but it's fun. And I know you had something you want to say about that, Kevin.
Yeah, so Valhalla it's a fun game. I put about 75 hours into it.
You need 25.
And well, see, and that's the thing is I put so many hours into it, and then I'm like, I don't see an end in sight. It's a beautiful game, great game. I wish there was less. So the way it's set up is that you're trying to get these different villages to be a part of your whole village, and so every village has its own story, which is actually really cool. It's like 25 or 26 self-contained stories.
Wow.
With an overarching story in there too. But I was going, and you're discovering, and then I just wanted to play a different game. But saying that, it is my favorite Assassin's Creed game, and I still have it. I will definitely complete it one day.
I haven't enjoyed any of the other ones. I haven't liked any of the other ones. It's just they're not fun to me. But this game just caught me.
I have, but I do like the storyline better for Valhalla so far.
It's a great story.
I do love them. Like Odyssey was a good one for me. I loved a bunch of them, but I will say that I really like the story for this one. This one changes your kind of opinion on how they've done these games so far. At least to me, it does, because the rest of them have very much been, here's some cool side quests and here's some cool this, but here's your main mission that you need to work on. Versus
there's
this one,
none
which
of that.
feels more. I guess to me, it feels more like Witcher 3, where it's like you can go anywhere and do anything, but it still gets connected and everything still tells you this beautiful painted story. And you're just like,
and you
oh
can
my
always,
gosh.
And like with a lot of these open worlds, I have problems because I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? I'm lost. This doesn't let you get lost. It doesn't let you get lost. I mean, you'll go through and you can go side quests all you want, but you always can find it. There's a way to get right back to where you started.
It's Witcher 3 if it was an Assassin's Creed game. I think that's the perfect way to describe that. It's Witcher 3 if it was an Assassin's Creed game.
Okay, Kevin, what's your next one, bud?
Okay, here we go. Been waiting for this one for years. This is a running thing.
Oh, is this that game that no one else in the world likes but you?
Oh my God, I love this.
No one even knows what it is except for you. Is that what that is?
I know it's coming.
That nobody's playing. The masterpiece
that no one cares about except for you. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no!
Oh, he's getting mad. Look at this.
And also one of the greatest soundtracks of all time.
Mortal Kombat.
Ocean's Island. Nier Automata.
Oh, okay.
It was during COVID. I actually got COVID, and I was sitting and I was trying to figure out a game to play because I had 21 days, or it was 14 days to sit in my house. And I kept on going and hearing all these people, like the reviews saying, like, calling it like a masterpiece nobody knew about, and you got to play all 3 endings, and you got to do all this. And so it piqued my curiosity, and I fell in love with it. I wound up beating it. It's a shorter game, 24, 25 hours, but I played that 24, 25 hours in a matter of 2.5 days because I had COVID. I was just at my house,
Yeah, kill time.
And that experience is one of my favorite video game experiences of my life. And the way the game is set up is the game itself has 26 endings. There's an ending for each letter of the alphabet. But most of those endings, 21 of those endings, are joke endings. Like you'll eat a fish, and because you're an android, the fish kills you, and then it's that's ending F. You know what I mean, for fish. So there's 25, but there's 6 real endings. Okay. And then the first ending is when you play for the first playthrough. The second playthrough, you play as her companion. So about halfway through, it's the same thing, and then you get a different ending. And then the third playthrough is an entirely different game. As an adult, I found myself crying at the end of this game. It's a very emotionally taxing game. There's an anime about it now. The second season's coming out in July. They've done a brilliant job with it. I can't suggest it enough, but if you're going to play,
And he will
you gotta-
suggest it a lot.
yeah, you
So,
got to
yeah.
play all the three playthroughs. The way you describe it, and I'll get off it now. The way you describe it, it is an action JRPG side-scrolling shooter bullet hell game. It has all those aspects in it, and it
It
goes
does.
seamlessly
I
through.
started it.
It's
Interesting.
such a wild idea of a game.
I-
Yoko Taro is a madman.
I was gonna say it's on my wish list only because I've had a few people suggest it, but I haven't touched it yet. It's been one of those ones where I'm like, I want to be able to actually like dedicate some time to it, and I'm currently on a few different games and servers with people, so I'm like, I won't be able to just sit there and dedicate time to it yet. So it's on my list, and I'm actually ready to play it. So it's good to know that
It's
it's
a game.
highly recommended.
It's a game that asks the question, what does it mean to be human? And it delves into that and on such a psychological way. Like they mentioned different psychiatrists. There's these different robots that are actually like named after psychiatrists. And the way the story goes, it's brilliant game, and also one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. I still listen to the soundtrack 4 years later.
Fair enough. Tyler,
Thank-
what's your next one, bud?
I can confirm all of that. Yes, he does. Okay, well, that game gets pretty deep, and I don't go that deep in my games, and Kevin knows this. I want to sit down for an hour, and I want to do some things, and then I want to get off. So when I'm going to do that, what am I going to do? I'm going to play Helldivers 2. Yes.
I've heard so
Helldivers
much
2.
about this game.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
What is it?
That is-
Spreading communism across
Spread-
the
What?
universe?
Democracy,
No.
not
Democracy.
communism.
That's what it
No.
was. I was like something like that.
Spread democracy. You need to go to the re-education camp.
Wow.
I don't
Liberty.
play it. I don't
And
play
moving.
it. No, my boyfriend does. He plays all the time. Like he all
haven't
he all
had
I
your
hear
dose
is
of
spreading
liberty,
birth
lady."
across the universe. You're just like, oh my god.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun, and it's great because I am the FPS guy, you know, and this and that. And like I said, I generally when I am going to play gaming, I want to get on there, half hour. I'm probably going to hop
In
off.
and out. Yeah.
Unless today it was like raining outside and we cleaned the house, so I got a chance to sit down for a couple hours. I still played Helldivers, but it's just so fun because it takes all the fun of just a shooter and just the fast paced chaos, or you know, you and your buddies wanting to just squat up for a minute, you know, because you guys got some time. But instead of being competitive,
Yeah.
you're against the computer. So now it's just you guys cooperate and you know go ahead and achieve your missions. You know, go through, do the missions. You can get out, you can level up, all that kind of stuff. Or you could start lobbing grenades at each other and just knocking each other off cliffs and stuff while you're trying to do your missions. Like it's just a good old time, but it's not a competitive thing to where it gets toxic. And that's where I think it really shines. You can go in
I
there
had
and you
such
can
a-
have fun.
I have such a great time playing with Tyler, Ryan, a couple other guys on that game, and it's because of the moments. Like, so you can accidentally kill each other, or
Yeah.
you could do it on purpose as a joke.
Mhm.
I'm
Hey,
not
what-
joining your party, Kevin.
You don't want me to join your party.
Because you can revive them. So one of the funniest things is we finish the mission and you got to call in the helicopter or whatever to come pick you up.
Pelican
And
one.
what's that?
Pelican one. Yep.
Pelican 1. Tyler puts this tower out right where we're supposed to be that just shoots a bunch of landmines all over the place. And then we're all just there. We're like, Tyler, what'd you do?
And I'm just standing off to the side, cackling over the headset. You know, it's just. And then of
This all
course they
checks
try to
out.
get through it, and I'm just watching them fly.
All of
everywhere,
this checks
you know?
out. Yes.
I was gonna say
Oh, yeah.
I have seen that my buddy threw the thing for, hey, what's gonna land over here? And one of the
Yeah.
kids that was playing with him, I think it was one of their sons, came in, ran over to that spot, and it just landed on him.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I happened to be walking by, I just went, oh no, oh
And he
no.
probably started laughing his butt off, you know?
Oh, there's
Oh,
laugh
everybody
out
else
loud
did. The kid
moment.
was a little
Because
upset.
it's got immediately from the get-go, when you watch the opening scene of the game, it's Starship Troopers, you
It
know?
is.
It's got that
Oh,
vibe
nice.
immediately.
Yeah,
So it's just it's absurd. It's hokey and, you know, it's fun, but you're still battling robots or bugs, and it gets very intense too.
Is it still cross-platform?
It's PC and PlayStation.
Yes.
PC and PlayStation, so you can play together. So if I have a PC and you guys have a
Yeah.
PlayStation, we can
Yes.
play together. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Okay, see, that I didn't know.
Yep.
Learn something new.
We're
Okay,
hoping
pick-
Xbox can get in on it one day.
See, there you go.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played it yet. Go ahead, Pixie. What's yours?
My next one is not going to be my final. We're not to that one yet. Mine is actually, I forgot where I'm at. I didn't do Diablo yet.
No.
Diablo is
Diablo
a
it is.
classic. I love Diablo. I fell in love with Diablo. I played the first one and wasn't really too much into it. When the second one came out, I was like, I remember this. I'll give it a shot. And I spent like years on that. My dad and I still play that game on one of his old computers at their house. And we just loved that game for so long. I bought him 3 and 3 didn't work. And then I finally updated his computer because he and I worked on it and built it together. And
Mhm.
he now plays 3 all the time. He's like, I don't want 4. And I've updated his computer enough that he can play 2 remastered. So that's where he's at. I personally I'm not fully fond of 4 yet. I enjoyed the fact that like on 2 and even on 3, you can play with friends, but you don't have to. You can play multiplayer online, but you don't have to. And you can go out and explore and do all these things, but you don't have to. And my dad and I, like in 2, would go back and play the stupid cow level. I don't know how many times, the super secret unknown cow level that nobody knows about, but everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
And same that happened in 3. You just have so much fun doing all this stuff, and it's chaotic, and it's just so much fun and a beautiful storyline. And I honestly just love the game. Again, one of those ones you can spend hours playing and just enjoy. Just level up your characters. Their banter between each other is great. If you leave them long
Nice.
enough, they get sassy with you.
You
Yeah,
make it sound so lighthearted.
I've been trying to get into that game.
I've seen
and I
like
just haven't done it.
trailers and this and that. And you make it sound so fun, and lighthearted, and just
Went
like,
from Animal
it's
Crossing to
Diablo. Yeah.
Hey, so I actually have a friend who was introduced to Diablo watching the level in Diablo 3 that had the unicorns and the sunflowers and the rainbow clouds, and she's going, "This looks like a really sweet game."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And that's the only video she saw online was that one.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
going, "No, honey, no, that's not the game." And she goes, "No, I think I want to try it." And I looked at her and I said, "Okay, well, I'll try it with you. I'll be there with you every step of the way." She's like, "You don't have to." I said, "No, I think I do. I think I do. I think I do." She does not like that type of game. So I got her through most of it, got her to that level, and then
Oh, that's
everything
funny.
tried to kill her. And she was like, I'm done. I'm done. I've never seen sunflowers try and kill me. Check, please.
This is not what I thought.
Yeah, I've gotten about an hour into that game. It just hasn't grabbed me. I want it to grab me, so we'll see. I'll keep trying. Okay, my next one is basically just a ripoff of Mortal Kombat, but I enjoy it more, and that is Injustice 1 and 2. I love playing with my DC superheroes, and I love fighting with them, and it's fun, and it's brainless, and it's got a good storyline. I mean, if you've read the Injustice series, you know evil Superman took over the world. Ooh, let's play. It's a lot of fun if you like those kind of fighter games. And they've made it simpler than like when I used to play Street Fighter, you know, left, B, A, B, left, and that's one shot. You know, they made it a lot simpler since then. Thank God, because I couldn't get into that. But it's a lot of fun, and it's something you can just step right into. And I enjoy the graphics to it. It's got the Mortal Kombat speed, which it's a little slow as far as fighting games go, but it's enjoyable because I like playing as these characters.
You a button masher?
I am a button masher,
I
absolutely.
am too.
And what's nice with those, actually, you can go to the select screen and you can actually program in different combinations.
Oh, right.
So you don't have to worry about it as much.
Oh.
Which, because I don't want to have. I like to just enjoy a game. I don't want to have to memorize 7 billion things.
Well, a
That's
fighting
me.
game is the most mindless usually, so
I like.
you don't
Yeah, it's
you don't
mindless.
want
It's
it to get
bloody.
too in depth.
Yeah, the finishes are easy now to do and all that. It's fun.
Mhm.
Okay, last round, guys.
So my favorite game of all time, also one of the greatest soundtracks of all time.
Is
Uh,
Larry the Lounge Lizard?
yes,
That's what I
Leisure
thought.
Suit Larry. Leisure
Leisure
Suit
Suit
Larry.
Larry. That's what
Oh
it
Lord.
was. You're welcome for that one, guys.
Uh,
Oh my
That's
god.
middle school right there.
Oh, that was
Um,
terrible. Terrible. I just
See,
broke
now he
Kevin
can't even
again.
breathe. You completely
So-
broke him. Completely gone.
That's the idea. If I don't do that at
So,
least once a show, I haven't done my job.
one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Ooh.
Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. I have put hundreds of hours into this game on like 6 or 7 different characters. This game is only topped by the amount of consoles that it's in by Minecraft. Minecraft's has like 11 consoles. Skyrim has 9 different consoles it's been on. The game, so during it came out at a time, and I started playing it and really fell into it at a time when it was a very dark time in my life, and that was like my reprieve from like the world around me at that time. And I would just go home and I would play Skyrim for hours, and it kind of it's a very important like part. I love that game. I love the soundtrack. Um, the modding community has definitely kept it alive because now I played so many
yeah.
hours. I played so many hours on the DLCs and everything else, and then I discovered the modding community, and then it like opened up. It was like playing it all over again, you know.
You got to check out the dragon. Make him have Randy Savage's voice in it. It's the most
seen it.
amazing thing in the world, and I love
There's
it.
also the Thomas the Tank
Oh.
Dragon too.
Oh,
Oh my
the Tank
god.
so happy. My kids played that game. I never got into it, but I love what the modders have done with that game. It's just brilliant.
Mhm.
Okay, Tyler, your last pick of the day, sir.
oh, my last pick is my first pick. It's my go-to. Kevin knows. Call of Duty.
Which one?
I am all of them.
Good
They're all
answer.
the same game.
All
true.
first-person shooters are the same.
They're all
game.
the same game.
Go play GoldenEye. That's all you need. Then you're done.
Slight variances, of course. Everybody loves their Black Ops and all that, But I just that's my style. That's my kind of gaming. You guys love the story stuff, and I can understand why. Me and Kevin have extensive conversations, recently about this kind of stuff, and everybody's got their style of gaming that they like to do. I like to get in, I get real intense and like do stuff, and then just get out. I'm not gonna sit there and like envelop myself in a story, which I'm sure like I have played some of Last of Us and some other things, and I can understand why you guys would like that. But that's my go-to. Call of
There's
Duty.
nothing wrong with that. That's a huge industry.
Yeah, I'm not a Warzone fan. For whatever reason, Warzone kind of turns me off because I don't want to get shot by somebody who's I can't even see because he's 2 pixels on my screen, but they're on a PC and they're so geared
So
up that
far away, yeah.
they're taking me out before I even know they exist. But I love just getting into death matches and tag matches and just going at it. My adrenaline gets spiked. It's a good time. And then you get out and you're done. And it's competitive, so yeah, it gets a little, maybe not
As
kid
long as I
friendly.
don't have
and-
the headphones on, I'm okay. Oh,
Yeah,
the things
yeah.
these 9-year-olds
if-
call me,
if
I
you
can't
do,
it.
turn 'em down.
I can't do it.
Turn them down. Yeah, especially if you've got
My
any skill to the
question
game,
for
you're going to get
you-
some feedback.
Tyler, my question for you, if you can help me, because I can't figure out which one it was. Long time ago, I played a Call of Duty. We were playing the bonus game on it, and it was zombies. You're on a bus, and the bus just keeps cycling through points, and you have to collect items at each point to make something to end the game.
Oh,
It was
That's
a Call of Duty, and I don't remember which one it was.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's my challenge for you to
Yeah,
help me figure
it's
that one out.
I haven't, I once a new one comes out, I'm latched onto that one, and then once a new one comes
Yeah,
out,
that's fair.
I'm latched onto that one. So it's
So,
like I'd have to go back and really.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played some of them, but yeah, as they progress, which now it seems like they're actually coming out with a little bit of some advancements in the gameplay and stuff that's kind of fresh. So
I
that'll
have
be
seen.
neat. Some of the movement, and all that. Yeah, that's always been my go-to.
Nice. Okay, Pixie, that last pick, and I know we're all waiting for it because I know we all want to talk about it.
Let's be real. Everybody's mentioned it at least 8 times in the show already. It's Minecraft. It's Minecraft. I have played
Hey.
that game since it first came out. I saw it, I bought it, and actually
Spoiler,
met
one of the most influential games ever.
very true. And it's so funny because, you guys were talking about all your games, and I'm pretty sure Minecraft, just on their Bedrock version, which is the one that's available on consoles and phones and
Mhm.
stuff. Just on that version alone, you can probably find a world for it. I know for a fact there's a world for Skyrim. I know for a fact there's a world for Call of Duty. I know for a fact they have themed worlds for every single game that has been out there that has been super popular, and that is just
Nice.
on Bedrock, not even Java.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love that there are no rules to it. You make your own game when you play it.
But there's a storyline if you want to follow it.
Can be, but who wants to? Well, who plays
If you
a
want to follow it.
storyline?
Yeah, my
I
friends and
build
I
my
are making
cities,
our
and
own
that's I'm
storyline.
good. Yeah.
Yep. We like to
You've seen my
play.
cities.
I've seen them for sure. We're doing one, and it's doing modded servers and this that. We're all working to build our own houses, castles, everything, storylines, plot lines. We've got farms, everything you name it, we've got it. And that, I mean, I was just playing it a little while ago until I came on here. Minecraft is just so customizable for the user. You
Mhm.
can do so much with it. There's so many mods out there. There's so much you can play a shooter game. You can play on some of these servers that have
Yep.
hide and go seek and all these weird, fun, crazy things that you can do on there. It's just so malleable to
I
what
didn't
you
know that
want
for
it
the
to
longest
be.
time.
Yeah,
My
most
kids were
people.
playing it. I'd walk by the TV. Wait, what are you
This is
doing?
that's my
they're
thought.
like,
Like, this looks stupid. Didn't we
you
get
know,
like? Don't we have like a high graphics and all that? This is 8-bit Nintendo crap.
Right.
You know.
it's just an appeal.
So
But
many
there
of
was
my
just something so
friends,
amazing about it.
so many of my friends are like, "Why are you playing this game? This looks ridiculous." And I'm like, "Well, one,
Until you play it.
you can add different texture packs, shaders, this, that." I said, once you get into the game, once you actually start playing the game, you will not be talking smack about it. And it's funny because I still have friends that refuse to try and play it because they know they get lost in it. They're like, if
Yeah.
I start playing that, you won't see me for a month.
Oh, keep going. And that's one of those games you keep coming back to. You stop playing
Mhm.
for 6 months, and then you're going to get back into hardcore
Yep.
for at least 3. I've done that cycle probably 50 times on that game.
That's what I'm doing right
Mine
now.
Minecraft is one of those games I've always wanted to like to play, but because there's no story and because I know you're saying there's a story. I've never seen a story, but I watched my daughter plays it, and I'll just sit there on the couch while she plays it, and it
It's
is one of
relaxing.
the most influential games of all time, and it is truly. Remember whenever it came out, is if people were talking about it, and how like you would start in an island, and it was like you were stuck on an island, you had to feed yourself, and you had to do
Mhm.
this and that, and I just thought it was the coolest concept then, and even now, years and years later, um, every survival game out there right now is there because of Minecraft.
Yeah. It's advanced Legos.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
think that, if you are not a first person shooter guy, this is the game. Then that is the game that you will love. There's
Well, I can
something
tell you what it's like
It-
when a first
because
person shooter guy
mine's-
gets on that game.
Mines
gets
are different.
It gets
Oh, they
aggressive.
blow everything up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes. I
I'm not
start
gonna show you how to
burrowing
make-
into mountains to make
If that's
my
how you play the
fortified.
game, as long as you're
Yeah.
not on anybody else's world, who cares? Have a blast. Do it.
I'm not going to show you how to make TNT, Tyler. I'm not
Oh,
going to
that's
do
so
it.
easy. Yeah, that's fun.
My son will show me.
No,
Okay.
it's easier than you think it is. That's the problem.
Okay, let's my final pick is going to be original Super Mario Brothers. In fact, it's still on my
Yeah.
Xbox. I will still sit and play it every time. It's such a fun game. And
Mhm.
dang it, I wanted to say Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Crap. No, okay, Mario. It's such the challenge, I mean, everybody's beat it a million times, but the challenge doesn't go away. It's just such a good game, and not even just nostalgia. It holds up today with the crappy 8-bit graphics. It holds up to an Xbox game.
Well, we've gotten to the point now we're so advanced with our games.
We're going back.
Go back to that.
Minecraft.
And the pacing and like the reaction time and just the speed of everything, you'll die.
And those
you're
2
like,
buttons.
son of a, and you're getting upset at this dumb side scroller, and it's like, well, that's because you're used to, go down, slide, crouch, go under here, aim there, and it's just like it's not.
It's
like
a different world.
Yeah.
But think
But
about
it's
it
so
too.
fun.
Mario Brothers is so many other games have spawned from that. Super Mario, Luigi's Mansion, like all the different versions of games that have spawned just from Super Mario
It
Brothers.
built
It's such-
Nintendo. Yeah.
and going on classic music. You can literally
Oh,
walk in somewhere
beautiful.
and go do 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 do, and
Yeah.
everybody will finish it for you.
Yeah.
There is not a single person alive that doesn't know how to finish the rest of that song.
Yep.
Talk
Yep.
about a good soundtrack.
I think it's better than Nier Automata.
You never played.
Wow.
You've never played it, so
Shots
you know,
fired.
Wow.
you never played it.
He
Well,
had to
neither
sneak
has
it in.
neither has most of society. Check out the
Doesn't-
website
doesn't make it a bad game.
www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the com we paid extra for it. Like our stuff, comment, talk to us. We do talk back. Yeah, I think that hits everything. I'm Dub. I'm here with Kevin. We're here with Pixie. We're here with Tyler. Keep on geeking on, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Play Nier Automata.
I'm gonna go play Minecraft right now.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.